everybody, it's me, your buddy Dave, the host of the Dark Stuff channel here on YouTube. Thank you so much for joining me for this new video here. This is an episode of this year's week, which may be renamed to this year's month, as the activity level here in the winter is definitely shrinking. You just saw a little bit of the New Jersey band Real Estate performing here at the Waiting Room in Omaha at the beginning of February. Now, I'm recording this like the third week in February, and I've basically been pushing off doing this video because I wanted to get two concerts in there. I was supposed to see this band called the Get Up Kids performing last Friday night at the Waiting Room, and a couple hours before the concert was supposed to happen, it got canceled because the band's bus broke down and they were a number of hours away and they couldn't make it in. So unfortunately, we only do have the one concert, and that's why I kind of delayed the making this particular video. But we've got loads of other stuff going on. There's lots of interesting information here. Let's start off talking about Record Store Day and a replacements tie-in. So, as often happens, there is some type of replacements record going on with Record Store Day on this April 12th. Now, I'm not going to go through the whole thing. There were a couple of interesting things. On a side note, there's a Belly. Their second album, King, is celebrating its 30th anniversary. It's being pressed on vinyl. That's something. There's an Alex Chilton thing. But so this Replacements Tim thing is, it's not anything that you haven't heard before. It's just putting it together on vinyl. So in other words, it has one record is the original mix. Of course, it's been remastered, but it's the original Tim mix from back in 1985. And then one is the Ed Stasium mix, which was on the Let It Bleed box set, which was new in, say, 2023 or whatever. Both of those weren't put on vinyl in the box set. So this is the first time you can get both of them. So that is something, okay? I mean, it's something, it's a little bit less than most of the Record Store Day releases, but I'm not going to knock it because, you know, purists will definitely want both of them on vinyl, and I get that. It's fine. It isn't looking like it's going to be the greatest Record Store Day in history, but, you know, that's why I don't like to look at the list in advance. I prefer to just walk in and be surprised. I've already spoiled it, you know, at this point. Let's briefly talk about this Real Estate show. The opening act was an artist named Grumpy. It was a folk singer, a woman. This is this is Real Estate's most recent record called Daniel. Came out last year. It's really nice, kind of guitar, indie pop. Nothing, revelatory or whatever, but it's just good, smooth indie rock. It's good stuff. I've seen the band before. They did Outlandia a couple years ago. Real Estate also has a promo. Here's a little bit of Daniel coffee. I don't know. I've had this sitting here for a year, so it's probably gone stale or whatever. I'll probably have to toss it. But either way, it was a little promotional item. I got some coffee from them. Real Estate's a good band, but I had no idea what the crowd situation was going to be. This was going to be my first show of 2025, and as I kind of rolled up into Benson, I was sort of like, okay, what's the crowd situation going to be? So it has been super shitty weather. It's been extremely, extremely cold, and I think that might have depressed the turnout a little bit. Like I said, the opener was a woman named Grumpy, and she was dressed like a hippie, and she just did kind of folk music. She was pretty good. I mean, but I'm going to be totally candid with you guys here. I mostly spent my time at the back of the club talking to some people that I hadn't seen in a really, really long time. And I hate doing that, but you know, I'm in the business of total disclosure for you people. So that's why the reporting on this show is going to be a little bit lighter than it might have otherwise been. All right, and we are in a new month. I haven't done one of these so far yet in February, so I do have a Dark Stuff playlist. It's out. It's linked below in Spotify and in Apple Music. Let me give you a little bit of a taste of what's on it here. You can see it on the screen right now, but of course I start off with some Billy Idol. I go into Belly, the Stones, The Breeders, Connor Oberst, Styx, Margot Price, Spoon, AC/DC, Elvis Costello, the Buck Pets, the Cars, St. Vincent, Black Sabbath. I'm skipping some here and there. The Feelies, Ghosty, let's see here, Ringo Death Star, and I close out with a really great tune from Luna called Fuzzy Wuzzy, which is like a nice, really chill, kind of mellow jam on that one. So it's another good mix, if I do say so myself, the Dark Stuff mix for February of 2025. A little bit of news, that Bangles book that I've been talking about for a while is actually out. Came out on February 18th. I've already downloaded the audio book. It's going to be our next book that we do on Rock and Roll Book Club, although, well, that's a little bit misleading what I just said there. Okay, so we are currently reading that for Rock and Roll Book Club. Our current episode that is out right now is the Arenda Fink episode. Arenda Fink from Azure Ray. She just has a new memoir called The Witch's Daughter. That episode is out. I'll link to it below. It's over at Rock and Roll Book Club. Okay, we are doing an interview with Arenda Fink. She's actually watched the episode and agreed to talk to us. I'm as surprised as you guys are. But we're doing an interview with Arenda Fink, so that's going to be our first author episode for the channel. So that's exciting. That's going to be coming up. We have already done the episode for the Alex Van Halen book Brothers, and that is the next episode that will be posted on March 1st, as we're publishing those every month on the 1st. That'll be Alex Van Halen. Then we are redoing the Bangles book, so that won't actually hit. It won't be online. You won't see that until April 1st. But that's it'll get catching you up there with Rock and Roll Book Club. So pretty exciting about the interview and maybe some other things coming up. But the Bangles Eternal Flame book is out now, and Bob Mayer, who does all the writing for the replacements and does all the the liner notes and all that, did a piece on them in the New York Times, which was really, really good. And I would link to it below, but I can't give you a gift subscription because I'm not a subscriber. As far as new stuff goes, new music, what I've been listening to a ton of is the new record from Sharon Van Etten and the Attachment Theory. It's a self-titled album. Maybe you're familiar with Sharon Van Etten. She's been around for a while. She makes really sort of moody, dark, brooding, very intense music, and I love her. She's amazing. This new band of hers, Sharon Van Etten and the Attachment Theory, it's a little more dancey, it's a little more upbeat, it's a little more fun on the surface sounding. I haven't really delved into the lyrics because that's where she gets kind of dark and stuff, but ultimately it's a fun listen. I mean, if you're just the song Idiot Box is great. It's very different sounding from Sharon Van Etten, but I am liking the change, and when she reverts back to doing her other thing, great. I'll probably like that too. So that's a big record I've been listening to the new Horsegirl record, Phonetics On and On. Really, really good. This is a New York City trio of college girls. I saw them at Outlandia a couple years ago, and they were really good. They did a Guided by Voices cover, which was cool. I like the new record. The cover art is boring. I mean, it's very bland, and I think they could have done better with that. But besides that, solid record. No real complaints on that. And there's a new single from King Hannah. King Hannah, of course, was my number one of 2024, their album Big Swimmer. She's a new single out called Leftovers, and there is a new U.S. tour, which the band is doing. Unfortunately, no date where I live in Omaha. I've been told through some booker friends of mine who book shows locally that there's still a possibility that might happen. I am dubious of that, but either way, King Hannah is out there. If they're in your town, I would recommend you go. I'll post some of the dates up on the screen. Folks, the concert calendar has been pretty light lately, but it picks up again once April hits. So we got a little quiet month of March, and then we really start picking up in April, May, June. Tons of stuff. This year's week segment will probably be a lot more active once we get there. Thank you for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.
So, you have a MySpace page or something?